Morning on you. KUM News Decision 2020. Mayors, vice mayors coming your way a little bit after 9. Let's jump into the KUM News Zoom room where it's looking a lot like Jock Talk over here, guys. You know.
That means we got to step out.
Yeah. No, I'm a thick lead. I placed in the UGM.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. We have our sports director from KUM News, of course, Double DZ, Dave Delgado. Morning, Dave.
What's up? How's it going?
We miss you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Let me just look at you for a second. I haven't seen you in a minute.
it's been a while.
Wow, you're like the only guy not putting on the COVID weight. How about them Niners, though?
Yeah, long way, man. We got a lot of injuries, so we'll see how it goes the rest of the year.
I was just happy with the performance over the weekend again. I know Andy wasn't, though, but, you know, it is what it is.
Yep.
Dave, so we've assembled quite a...
Sorry.
Is Milker smoking freaking weed? Damn it.
It's legal.
It is legal. You're right. Yeah.
Good morning, Milk.
Yeah, Milker, what's up?
What's up?
I mean,
Good morning, guys.
yeah,
Tough day.
right on. I think Bill Bennett's getting some of that secondhand. Mel, just give us an idea. You know, what are you smoking on right there?
Birthday cake.
I'm smoking some, it's a 50-50, but this is a CBD dominant. You know, I got some injuries, so in the morning, I don't want to get too high. I don't want to get stoned. I have a lot of injuries, so I worked out last night with the heavyweights. I'm kind of sore, so Sabrina asked me yesterday to jump on the show, and I just, you know, of course, every time my girl calls me, I'm on. But
Right on.
yeah, just having my coffee from Coffee Sun, just having a cup of smoke. Coffee.
So
and
just to
cannabis,
set the record straight,
sets my
champ,
body right, sets me in the tone.
just to set the record straight, you're not a heavyweight, right?
Absolutely not. But come on, I'm not that big, bro.
You know I can't talk, bro. Dave, yeah, sorry, guys. I just wanted to catch up with Champ there. We have in our KUM News Zoom room, Bill Bennett, of course, that game with the thing, and they hit the strike. What was it called again? Something about the military.
Baseball.
Baseball. That's it. Yep. With Bill Bennett, baseball. Willie, we got Willie Stinnett here. Representing the one sport where I would just like dribble it. And I'm like Chamorro tall, so when we played 3-on-3 with my cousins, I was always like the default center.
I could never play basketball. I was I don't want to say, pretty much too aggressive. I'd like elbow people in the face.
Yeah, my role model was Bill Lambier. I don't know if you guys know about Bill Lambier, but it's just like elbow everybody. That's it. Grr. Yeah, so we got Willie Stinnett. We got Steve Shimizu. Of course, repping Jits. We got Ricardo Blas Jr., Judo Olympian. Who else we got here, Bree?
Okay. I think Jason Cunliffe. He should be joining us shortly.
Yeah, Jay's not here yet, but then you guys have Mike Robigo too.
We got Mike Robigo, yes.
Guam National Volleyball Programs.
Nice. Okay, so we've got pretty much all the sports, including the Cannabis Cup here.
The Cannabis Cup.
with Mel, Mel's wearing his wrestling and MMA hat, guys. So we want to turn it over to Dave, and we kind of brought this panel together, right, Dave, just to see where we're at because we haven't had sports. I mean, there's certain sports that are allowed now under PCOR 1, but a lot of these sports are close contact, and you know, I just we were
and not necessarily we some gyms have done programs, right, and clinics and things like that, but you can't really compete against one another like official games and things like that.
Leagues, remember leagues? They'd have a bunch of different teams and they would like play games against each other. Yeah, so I mean, so Bree and I had this talk the other day, and we're like, God, yeah, wow, GYFL, what's gonna happen? I mean, with sports. And so, Dave, we'll just go ahead and let you take over this convo here. We do have Jason Cunliffe, of course, from Team Matau. Joining the KUM News Zoom room. So, ladies and gentlemen, our sports director for KUM News, Dave Delgado. Dave?
Yeah, I think the main thing here is just making sure we stay in touch with these athletes. It's one thing to stay in shape and get your workouts on, but then there's nothing like game time situations, game speed scenario. And for me, and a lot of these coaches and everybody involved with sports, is about player development. If these kids aren't competing against other players who put in the same amount of work or even more, then how can they gauge themselves where they are as far as, getting better? So that's why we brought this panel together. Of course, Mike Robigo, part of the national team for volleyball. And, it's just mainly trying to stay in touch with the athletes. So for guys, anyone out there, how have you been able to stay in contact with players and people involved with the sport that you're in?
I'll go ahead and chime in. Personally, with us, with the Guam Football Association, and myself as U17 national team head coach, obviously the simple WhatsApp chat is a big use for us in terms of staying in contact with our players. And we've been focusing on I deal with a lot of 13 and 14-year-olds right now. So about 8th graders and freshmen in high school. So we've been trying to get them really to focus on getting on a schedule, writing down a schedule, trying to stick to it the best they can through the course of the week, to balance obviously the schoolwork and any extra work that we can do on our own. We give them, some fitness work to do, which we utilize Zoom so that we can see that they're all participating in there. And with the schedule, we have a thing on Sundays where I talk to them and we do basically like a, where they need to reflect and see whether or not they were able to, perform all of the tasks that we've asked of them for the course of the week, whether or not they were honest with themselves in terms of making sure that they stuck to the schedule that they set for themselves and are doing everything that they need to do to be the best version of themselves that they can be. That's on the field and off the field. So it's definitely trying times, but we try to communicate again via the WhatsApp and utilizing Zoom to try and keep them, up to par with what we're trying to do. Because as you said, people around the rest of the world are already training and are getting games in some places. So, it'll be difficult for us to stay up with them if we're just sitting idle.
And besides soccer and football, baseball is one of the other sports that, bring a big amount of kids out. So, Bill, for you guys over there, you usually have in the Ukadu baseball field there pretty packed with games and tournaments. It might be your speaker, Bill. Well, let's go to you, Mike. I think Bill's having problems with his microphone right now.
Can you hear me good?
Yeah.
All right, cool. And as for
I got it.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, there you go.
Sorry. Hey, sorry, fellas. Anyway, Dave, you want me to continue?
Yeah.
We had to shut down in March. We had like 12 activities scheduled for, this year with a youth program on our international program. So we lost that. We just recently applied with public health with our protocols to start baseball, with the prevention program out on the field. So we're hope that either things will change with the PCOR or public health will allow us to continue. Right now, we're just doing, the Academy is doing small group training and private training with our youth kids here on Guam. So we're trying to do our best to keep things going with the baseball and the softball.
Let's get Will on here. Will, I know, before everything hit, you guys were real busy with working with the kids, getting camps and clinics going on. And for you and Dom, a lot of the things you guys do are with the youth.
Yeah, it's Hey, good morning, guys, everybody. Thanks, Dave, for allowing me to speak. It's been hard. Since March, we had to shut down with the whole COVID situation. We usually have a year-long, plan with leagues, academies, tournaments for kids. So once COVID hit, we kind of just came together, Dom and the rest of the crew at Guam Elite to, settle down, make sure everybody's family's safe. First and foremost, we live with older people in our household, so wanted to keep them safe. I just had a newborn, so safety first. And it's been tough trying to see the numbers go down and the numbers rising back up. And the last thing I want to do is jeopardize everybody else, coming together. So as far as us, we've just been kind of laying low, waiting to see what, follow what the government allows us to do. But as of right now, everything's basically on hold.
And Mike, especially at the adult level, you have Team Guam members that have families, that work full-time jobs, and trying to get them back into a schedule and a routine to focus on big games to represent Guam, it must be pretty challenging.
Well, so we're kind of lucky and fortunate that for big events for Guam to participate is the micro games, which will probably happen in 2021 or 2022, and then followed by Pacific Games in 2023. So we have this gap. However, we're lacking the athlete buildup because we're losing, contact with all the sports. I'm not sure how long it's gonna take to get back out there. Obviously, our competition in the Micronesian side, those guys are, God bless them if they're not affected yet, but they're COVID-free for some of the other islands. So to me, that's a big advantage to them because they can train free, they can roam free at this age level too, right? All that social interaction they're building right now. For us, if it's gonna take a year and a half to get back into the norm, then that's where I see we may struggle as a Guam team.
Well, and having a talent of athletes to choose from is going to be a little bit more hard this time around because no high school sports and outside leagues. So for you guys, I'm sure it's going to be kind of a challenge to keep an eye on specific talent to come up in the rankings.
Yeah, definitely, because especially one thing that builds the team camaraderie is the traveling part. So if we have to travel off island, we will have to go there for 2 weeks to do a ROM and then actually get into gameplay and then come back. And so, a lot of these athletes here in Guam too, they also they have a civilian job. So committing that time is really difficult for, a lot of members here in Guam.
Well, let's get Rick Jr. on real quick. Former Olympian representing Guam in judo. And, we have a few athletes from the judo side that are Olympic hopefuls. You have Josh in Japan right now. How are things going with our athletes off island?
Yeah, in a sense of international competition, the judo guys are good because they're living in Japan. We got Josh Andrew attending Ritsukeizai University on a scholarship. And then we have Maria Escano, who's up at Sendai University, and she just took her entrance exam and did really well. So they're doing well. They train every day, 2 to 3 times a day. But as for the development of judo here on Guam, it's been tough. We stopped judo in March. We started up again in July for 3 weeks. Then we had to stop again. And so it's tough. And during those 3 weeks, I created a no-touch judo program, which is just basically drills and shadow drills and stuff like that. So the kids were all kind of, distanced and whatnot. But yeah, I think every sport here on Guam right now, when it comes to development of new players and new competitors, it's going to be a pretty tough situation. And first and foremost, the safety of our kids and our athletes is it takes priority. So, looking towards the future, it's going to be a tough road. But as for our Olympic hopeful, which is Josh Andrew, he's training every day and doing everything he can. They're doing tons of in-house tournaments, and the International Judo Federation actually just held a Grand Slam in Hungary, and they did well, but they actually banned the entire Italian team because a few of them tested positive. So there's a lot of crazy things happening in the world of international sports, and definitely on the local side, it's taking a huge hit. I think especially here in Guam with the rising cases.
Well, Steve Shimizu, the founder of Mariana's Open, I know there's some jiu-jitsu gyms that, have classes and have athletes in there. The Mariana's Open is an outlet for these jiu-jitsu practitioners to showcase their talents on the big stage. Anything in the works for Mariana's Open, or maybe just some one-on-ones with some of the big names here on island?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for having me on, and hope all of you guys are safe. Right now, a few gyms have reached out to me, and they've asked us to put together a virtual tournament, which consists of all the gyms trying to get together and maybe do one big pot of what we can do to keep the sport alive. Because like Rick said, man, it's tough. It's tough because all these gyms all the gyms that are dependent on students, athletes to compete, they run a very great school, but there's nothing to look forward to. The Marianas Open had a platform, Submit had a platform. There was always something to look forward to. So everything stopped since March, so we're sitting here. Athletes are calling me up saying, hey, man, can you do something? Can you put together some tournament that consists of five guys? And, it's very, you got to get crafty. And nowadays it's like what we're doing, the Marianas Open, is we're looking into how the world is being run with all these rules in place. Can we possibly do it? I would not know. I would have to start getting all the gyms together and seeing what their take is on doing some virtual top guys, top white belt, top blue belt, top black belts, whatever. We come together, we film this, we kind of keep the sport alive. Because let's face it, COVID, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, all the close contact sports, pretty much we're probably going to get hit the hardest. So it's a tough situation, man. And I don't have the answers. All I have is the community to give me some sort of ideas. I mean, would I be up to doing something? Definitely. So I would get with Mel, get with all the other gyms, and basically we just got to come together so that our sport stays alive. Because these times, man, they're not predictable. Parents are scared to bring their kids to the gym. Some people won't even go. I know some friends that haven't trained because they're like, man, I only train with like one guy. But the love for the sport is still on the island, and everybody knows that. But we're stuck with this crazy pandemic, and all we can do is wait, see what the future consists of, and if the gyms get together and we have some virtual idea, I'm really for it. I'm really for giving Guam a nice free tournament and maybe donating to a good cause. I don't know. I really want to keep it alive. I really want to. And guys like Melker that put together events, ourselves, man, people are knocking at our doors, and I'm sure that, it hurts to just put everything on stop, and that's where we're at right now. So, the guys, man, keep positive. All the guys that own gyms, I know what you're going through. It's a struggle. We're not going to shut down. We're going to still try and keep going. We do the Marianas Open in the mainland. Our mats are just sitting out there. We don't have a tour going on. We can't bring people in. It's just basically, we just got to get crafty and keep everything alive. Every sport needs to keep alive, because in order for us to keep going, we need to keep pushing. We need to keep encouraging. How do we do it? I have no idea, but we're going to try. That's the only way we can keep things alive in this island and stay positive and safe.
Well, Melk, you're a big player when it comes to wrestling here on Island. High school wrestling was on the come up with more female wrestlers representing their schools, and more Team Guam wrestlers coming out representing the island in off-island competitions. Do you see wrestling coming back this year or early part next year, hopefully, to get these athletes back on the mats?
I don't know. Very hard for me to say. I am only in charge of the Guam Amateur Wrestling Federation. I'm the VP, but I have nothing to do with high school sports. So we'll get that clear. So I don't know anything. I can't answer that question. Would I like to see the kids go at it? Absolutely. But when is it going to happen? Who's going to make it happen? I don't know. That's not my department.
Well, you were able to get the Brawl event done before the whole pandemic really hit.
Got lucky.
Anything in the works for another event, or in contact with some promoters and anybody involved that are itching to get back to it?
Yes, man. Everyone. We did our show March 13th. 2 days later, she put us on lockdown, right? So we were very lucky to squeeze that in. The good thing about having Brawl was we had guys from UK, Korea, Japan, and now a lot of people want to come and fight in Guam. Guam hasn't had mixed martial arts in 3.5 years, and when we did it, it ended just as fast as we started it. So we want to bring it back for sure. I'm going in about a couple weeks to Roki's fight for the UFC, and I know it's very, very, very strict. You check in, they swab you, go to your room, you wait 24 hours, so you get your test results. If it's negative, you can go train in another room. So you stay in the hotel. You can only go to the UFC Performance Institute and back home. After the fight, you can do whatever you want to do, and they kick you out of the hotel. So they're very strict. I think we can do something like that here in Guam. You want to come to Guam, you get tested in your country 5 days prior before getting on the airplane. If you're negative, you come to Guam, we test you again, put you in the hotel, keep you there for 24 hours. If you pass, then you can go train. For example, we put someone over at the team at Dusatani or Hyatt, and you just leave them there the whole week, so it's kind of like a fight island, and it's no one in, no one out. It's no spectators, and we can totally do a show. We can run everything online, and so it's a difficult time, but honestly, we have not stopped training because my guys are in the UFC right now and getting ready for a fight in Japan on December 31st. So we can't stop. We keep our circle super small, very small. No spectators, no kids, no classes, none of that, which it's kind of bumming. But at the same time, I got to keep my pros active, and we got to stay safe. And we can't have anyone jumping in and out of our camps that we don't know who they hang out with and where they've been and whatever. So it's a dangerous disease, bacteria, virus, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. It sucks, but it's something we got to be careful, and we got to take cautions as much as we can. But we, our guys, you guys know that in order to get in the cage, we will grab each other. We're breathing in each other's face, sweat's dropping in my mouth, you name it. You know what I mean? They're huffing and puffing directly in my face, and that's our sport. But we just try to stay healthy and take our vitamin C, smoke your cannabis, drink your coffee. I'm being honest, you know what I mean? Like cannabis kills corona, but only one university saying it. So, but anyways, you guys will catch on. I'm a wrestler, so we're a little bit fast. So you guys are kind of slow. So you guys will kind of know later on that cannabis does kill corona, but you guys don't know that stuff. So I don't, you know me. I want to run my mouth super hard, dude. But I'm. Sabrina told me every time I go on the show, she's like, Malcolm, you better not say that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but you know what I really want to do, right?
Are you sure that was CBD dominant, Mel? You sure that was CBD dominant? I think somebody swabbed the CBD for the THC.
Right? Huh?
You're making Jason Malago over there.
But yeah, that's it for mixed martial arts. You know, we got guys fighting. We got to stay active. We cannot. I mean, we can't. It's not like soccer, basketball, or baseball where everyone's distance. We have to grab each other, and we just have to stay safe. That's it. We don't have a choice. We don't have an option. We can only do shadow wrestling, shadow boxing for so much. But you got to grab the guy and throw him. You got to get punched. You got to punch the guy. So that's just our game. And Frank got tested positive. Obviously he's fine. He had 99.9% recovery rate. But thank God that he was healthy. Had he been any sick or any weak, his immune system was down, then he would have been messed up. But, you know, guys, vitamin C up, smoke your cannabis, drink your coffee, and I don't know, stay safe. Wear your mask, wash your hands, wear your condoms.
Oh my
Stay
God.
Wear your condoms. Yeah.
clean. Hey, protect yourself at all measures.
That's
Protect
right.
yourself
It's kind
at
of
all
sounding like a
measures.
fight.
It's
Protect
important.
yourself at all costs.
Yeah, it's we have to, you know, gotta be safe.
All right, any last comments from anybody?
Yeah, Dave, I know the IIG is creating a return to play task force. So they just started that last Friday, and I believe some of the stakeholders are athletes, coaches, players. So it's I guess it's fresh with IIG. I do know that they're breaking them down into tier levels. So like tier level 1 would be like who can attend would be the athletes. Tier 2 would be media. Tier 3 is spectators. So when they do all the bylaws, it'll determine like for volleyball if it's a beach event, then obviously all 3 tiers may attend depending on the government's guidance. But if it's like indoor volleyball, maybe only tier 1 can be obviously participate. Tier 2 and 3 will be more likely out the door. So hope to hear from them more soon.
Okay, Dave, it's good seeing you, man. Thank you for running this KUM News Zoom room, guys. We have virtual carne asada. Mel, I don't know if you're like a sweet munchies guy or a solid munchies guy. But
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, our pleasure. There's some virtual carne asada there if you guys want a balutan on your way out. Will, thank you. Rick, thank you. Steve, thank you. Mike, Jason, Champ, Bill Bennett, thank you, Bill.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, be safe.
Stay safe.
Okay, there you go. We got to take a break here to give you a chance to smoke your cannabis. We got to come up with a new drinking game. Yesterday, the drinking game or smoking game was every time we had to say unmute to the mayors and vice mayor candidates. I think next time we get Mel on, every time he says smoke your cannabis, you have to smoke a cannabis. But I hope you got a lot of cannabis.
Take a puff.
Yeah. 9:17 break, and then we're back with KUM News.